On this vote, the yeas are 213 and the nays are 209. With 6 answering present, the resolution adopted. Without objection, the motion to consider is laid on the table. House will be in order.
Storm rages hardest when truth meets power, and as the old proverb says, in politics, the louder the denial, the deeper the scandal. Watching Adam Schiff stand off against all 9 GOP members demanding his resignation turned that hearing into a battlefield. Schiff firing back, Republicans circling, and the whole room shaking under the weight of their clash.
Your actions, both past and present, are incompatible with your duty as chairman of this committee, which alone in the House of Representatives has the obligation and authority to provide effective oversight of the U.S. intelligence community. As such, we have no faith in your ability to discharge your duties in a manner consistent with your constitutional responsibility and urge your immediate resignation as chairman of the committee. Mr. Chairman, this letter is signed by all 9 members of the Republican side of the House, of the committee, and I ask unanimous consent to be entered into the record of today's hearing.
My colleagues may think it's okay that the Russians offered dirt on the Democratic candidate for president as part of what was described as the Russian government's effort to help the Trump campaign. You might think that's okay. My colleagues might think it's okay that when that was offered to the son of the president, who had a pivotal role in the campaign, that the president's son did not call the FBI. He did not adamantly refuse that foreign help. No, instead, that son said that he would love the help of the Russians. You might think it's okay that he took that meeting. You might think it's okay that Paul Manafort, the campaign chair, someone with great experience in running campaigns, also took that meeting. You might think it's okay that the president's son-in-law also took that meeting. You might think it's okay that they concealed it from the public. You might think it's okay that their only disappointment after that meeting was that the dirt they received on Hillary Clinton wasn't better. You might think that's okay. You might think it's okay that when it was discovered a year later that they lied about that meeting and said it was about adoptions. You might think it's okay that the president is reported to have helped dictate that lie. You might think that's okay. I don't.
The House. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
Walking into that committee room with Adam Schiff at the center of the dais and the entire Republican lineup, Devin Nunes, Elise Stefanik, Will Hurd, Mike Conaway, Chris Stewart, Rick Crawford, Peter King, John Ratcliffe, and Brad Wenstrup felt like stepping into a political storm before the thunder even started. The atmosphere had that eerie silence that always comes before someone launches the first political missile. And as the old political proverb goes, the calm before the vote is the liar's peace. That peace didn't last long. The Republicans came ready for battle, and they didn't hide it. Every one of the 9 GOP members walked in with the same document, a letter demanding Adam Schiff's immediate resignation. Not a request, not a suggestion, but a demand written like a verdict. The kind of letter that doesn't get drafted in the moment, but forged in frustration, sealed in unity, and delivered like a strike. Devin Nunes took the lead, standing firm like a man who already knew what shockwaves the next sentence would cause. He read aloud the charge that Schiff's actions, both past and present, were incompatible with his duty as chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Those words hit the room with the blunt force of a gavel slamming shut on patience. As the old saying goes, when a council loses faith, a leader loses authority before losing title. Nunes continued, declaring that the GOP members no longer had faith in Schiff's ability to carry out constitutional oversight, especially of something as enormous and sensitive as the U.S. intelligence community. The moment he asked for the letter to be entered into the official record, the tension rose. Even the aides sitting in silence behind the dais looked like they were trying not to breathe too loudly. But the real explosion didn't come from the Republicans, it came from Adam Schiff. Schiff didn't address the resignation request with diplomacy or restraint. No, Schiff leaned into the microphone and went straight for escalation. The Russia investigation, the Trump Tower meeting, the dirt on Hillary Clinton, he dragged every detail back into the daylight. And another political proverb came to mind. A cornered politician doesn't retreat, he bites. Schiff was biting. He began by describing the offer from Russian operatives to provide damaging information on Hillary Clinton. Schiff emphasized that this wasn't some vague rumor. This was foreign assistance explicitly described as coming from the Russian government. Then he moved to Donald Trump Jr., pointing out that the president's son didn't call the FBI, didn't reject the meeting, didn't even hesitate. Schiff repeated the infamous phrase, "I would love it." He hammered that line over and over, letting it hang in the air like an accusation wrapped in disappointment. Paul Manafort, the Trump campaign chairman at the time, got pulled into the spotlight next. Schiff laid out Manafort's presence at the meeting, highlighting his decades of political experience and the implication that he absolutely knew what the meeting meant. Then came Jared Kushner, who also attended. Schiff didn't merely list names, he laid out motives, decisions, and actions like he was prosecuting a case instead of chairing a hearing. The political proverb says, when the truth is inconvenient, liars create narratives. Schiff accused the Trump team of doing exactly that, spinning a false adoption story when the meeting became public. He even suggested President Trump himself help dictate the misleading statement. Every repetition of, "you might think that's okay," wasn't just a phrase, it was a political blade, sharpened and swinging toward the Republicans. Watching Elise Stefanik maintain her posture, Will Hurd keeping that analytical calm, Ratcliffe narrowing his eyes, and Wenstrup leaning back with visible irritation made the room feel like it was overheating. Each GOP member silently pushed back by refusing to flinch. And that silence, that unified, bored-looking silence, felt like its own rebuttal. Schiff kept hammering, insisting foreign interference in American elections is never acceptable. He portrayed the Trump Tower meeting as a moral failing, a betrayal of the nation's values, and an example of political opportunism gone rogue. Another proverb echoed, "Foreign gold buys domestic corruption." Every time Schiff circled back to, "you might think that's okay," it became clear that he wasn't just responding to the letter. He was building a counterattack against the entire Republican narrative. He wasn't arguing innocence, he was positioning himself as the righteous watchdog confronting a corrupt campaign. Yet another political proverb. In the halls of power, the loudest voice is usually the most desperate. Schiff's voice was loud, very loud. The Republicans didn't interrupt. They didn't shout. They didn't take the bait. That quiet, stone-faced posture from Nunes and the 8 others said more than any rebuttal could have delivered. By the end of Schiff's monologue, the room felt like it had absorbed 100 rounds of political artillery. Two sides stood on opposite ends of truth, power, and interpretation, each determined to make the American people decide who looked more credible. But credibility isn't built in noise, it's revealed in endurance. Leaving that hearing left a political proverb ringing loud. When leaders battle with the nation watching, truth becomes a weapon and lies become armor. That entire scene, Schiff versus Nunes, accusations versus counter-accusations, resignation demands versus Russia allegations showed exactly how fractured Washington has become, and the fracture isn't healing anytime soon.